Anna from Lucy Paper Crafts Flowering Meadow Sweet and Simple class, June 2026. I'm gonna give it a minute to hop on, and also I'm super excited to stand with you this morning, but I'm also super nervous because I don't do a whole lot of live streams. So let me know if you're here in the chat to one of the sides, and we're gonna start here in a minute with our cards. I'm just pulling up my live stream on my laptop so I can see any comments. So, and reminder to myself that I look in the camera and not like off screen. Um, and welcome to my new studio. I know you can just see a little bit, but still a work in progress, but I'm very excited that it's coming together. And if you're local to me, if you're in Southeast Missouri, Cape Girardeau area, I will have my big summer craft sale on Friday from 10 to 4 here at the studio. So let's see, where am I going to put my laptop? I think I'm going to put that over here to the side. So if you're joining us live or if you're tuning in for the replay, just say hello. Okay. And there's a little bit of a delay, I know that. So I'm going to make sure I have all my bits and pieces in place here. And then we'll dive right in. So I forgot to fold my card bases, so I'm going to go ahead and do that because I can be picky about it. So I'll just do that here real quick. Those are the bits and pieces. Okay, so which order are we going to go in? I think this order. Get all the stamping done first. Okay, so yeah, it'll work out somehow. Okay, so I need to stop saying so much. I know. um, it's been a little bit of a morning, so I hope my voice is not gonna totally cave on me. That would be horrible. Um, but yeah, if you ever took care of a 5-year-old, you know. You know. Okay. I got my tea here. I know it looks like coffee, but what is it? I grabbed some vanilla chai because my voice my I've been having a sore throat for a few days, so I hope it's not going to get worse, only better from here on out, but that's why I got to drink something hot. So, vanilla chai latte it was. It's decaf though, because I've already had an espresso this morning. Okay, so let me switch you down to my table so we can get started on our cards. I have 3 projects for you, so I hope this is going to work out. All right, now you got that ugly view. Well, it's not an ugly view, but all of my mess there. Still getting ready for, can you see that? Still getting ready for my craft sale. All right, so if you're like me and you get um, car sickness, motion sickness very quickly, um, just just close your eyes for this section. So sorry for shaking the camera. Just got to tighten this a little bit, and I want to make sure that everything's good and it's not pulling down my phone too much. I might have to tighten this a little. Just give me a second. So learning, right? We're learning. This is way out of my comfort zone, so just be patient with me, okay, as I set this up. So, and we'll see. Maybe if you're watching the replay, you don't see any of this happening because I might have cut that out. So, anyways, I think that's a little bit too close. So I'm gonna move my table down just a bit. So yeah, I think that's good, right? Okay, featuring today is the Flowering Meadow bundle. That's all we need. It's part of a huge, beautiful suite, not huge, but a suite that comes with designer series paper that has velvet flocking on it. And then there's also some gems. Well, not gems, but embellishments. These are called the Dreamy Flower ones. They're, as of right now, this morning, I think they're out of stock, but they'll come back, but in a few weeks or so. So we have them in white, bubble bath, and berry burst. And if you haven't taken part in my little poll yet, before this live stream, I posted a little poll um, about oh, hey Brenda, so great to see you. Good morning. What was I just again, I'm so nervous. I'm not technology challenged like most people probably would say they are, but I love technology, but just being on live camera makes me nervous. So I'm trying my best. Anyways, there's paper that goes with the suite and those embellishments that I just showed you. But I wanted to focus on the bundle for some sweet and simple cards. So let's dive right in. I mounted all of my stamps. I mounted all of, not mounted, but die cut the pieces. So here you can see them. And so, oh, that's what I was saying. My poll, which one is your current, at least current? Let me know in the chat or in the comment section, which one is your favorite color at the moment? Would it be Peaceful Pine, Berry Burst, or Bubble Bath? That's kind of the color combo that I went with for this class. And so let's dive right in. The first card I want to share with you is this one here. So I will put that up here and I will bring in my supplies. And if you love the idea of just opening a package, have all the pieces done for you, just stamp and assemble and have fun, then you can check out the link in the description. I will post that after the live. So if you're watching the replay, it should be there now. How you can get the card kit for all three of these cards in this class for free if you place a $50 order that is after redeeming any Stampin' Rewards, or coupons that you might still have. And yeah, but I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. I'm kind of distracted. So let's focus on the cards first. There's a link for the free card kit if you want it. Okay, so I have my Berry Burst card base. I have a basic white layer for the inside. I have some basic white and some bubble bath to layer and stamp. And then this little cutie here is a new label die from a new Christmas bundle that's coming out in July. We'll be using another label from this set on our last card. So if you're wondering where this is from, that's from the, let me show you real quick. So demonstrators can already pre-order this. This is July, coming in July, online exclusives, July 1st, I think. The Stitch Stocking bundle, and so the stamp set and the dies. Really, really cool. It's a whole suite with ribbon and button embellishments and all the shebang. I will be doing a Christmas in July class for it. So make sure you're on my email list so you don't miss out on that. So anyways, let's get stamping. But what I wanted to do first, okay, let's rewind for a second. I am stamping the elements that I need on all three cards first. That's what I wanted to do because we want to be efficient. Can you tell I'm super nervous? So I'll try my best. So we'll need a few elements. So I mounted all of my stamps, and so this is just kind of my cheat sheet. So I will keep that there. And because what I want to do is I want to stamp my individual flower elements, not my sentiments, but my flower elements first, and then I can die cut them for all three cards all at once, and then I can just have some fun assembling and stamping my sentiments. Okay, so let me show you what we're going to do first. So if you decide to get the class kit for free by placing an order, you have for that until June 8th, midnight Central Time. Um, like I said, the link will be in the description. So let me find my ink pad. Oh gosh. Okay, I'm gonna take a breath. So we'll be using Peaceful Pine, and I'm going to stamp the three stems first. So you have this. This is not a quarter sheet, so an eighth of a basic white cardstock. and I'm going to stamp that up here. Okay. And then I'm going to stamp, this stamp here is for that clover flower. So I'm still getting used to these new ink pads. I love them, but they just distribute the ink differently. So that was that in green. So I can put that aside for a second. And then we're bringing in some bubble bath for our little cluster of flowers. I really hope I'm not confusing you too much. So I can stamp that down here. And then I should just get them out of the way. We can close that for now. And then I'm bringing in Berry Burst. And we're going to stamp our two larger flowers down here. And our little top of the clover. I know many people wouldn't consider that a flower, but it actually is my favorite because I just love that color combination of that dark green and the purple. So, okay. So, and now, oh, we're going to need that again. Silly me. So, open Berry Burst again because I want to stamp the center. There's this cluster of 3 dots. I don't know if you can see um, on the stamp set. So, well, in German, we actually call them stamps, Stempel. That's the center of the flower, where the pollen is and stuff. So you have these two ones for the larger petals, and then there's this cluster of 3, that's one stamp, that goes in the middle one. So that's what I'm going to be stamping. I'm going to turn my paper a little bit, and let's hope I can get that on here. Somewhat. Okay, there we go. So now I can close that berry burst. And then for the last one, I'm bringing in Secret C because I wanted a darker color for my larger petals here. If you happen to know what kind of flower that is, I'd be happy to read your comment if you know. So now here's my tip on stamping these. Okay, these are kind of like a little bit harder to place. Um, but here's my tip though, because I kind of messed it up on an earlier one. Um, Focus mainly on this one because this is a smaller section, or no, wait, it's the other way around. Focus on the top one. I hope that makes sense. So I'm trying to line this up more than this one. I hope you can see because this one, uh, there's a little bit more wiggle room so it doesn't look weird. So, okay, luck is with the brave, right? Okay, can you see now? Okay, so there we go. And we're going to close our secret C. Okay, so and then by the magic of live streaming and being prepared, I went in ahead and I die cut all of these pieces already. So, but I wanted to give you an idea of how you can just stamp all these. If you wanted to multiples, you could just kind of stamp all these and then die cut them in one go. And yeah, so I have my little pieces here. So we can set that aside. I just wanted you to wanted to show you how you can stamp those images. All right, so now let's get into the first card. Okay, so I have my piece of basic white here that is about 3 3/4 by 3 1/4, I think. But you can make it any size you want. Okay, so I'm bringing in my Peaceful Pine, and I should have grabbed some scrap paper. Let me see if I can find some scrap paper at the moment. Okay. Okay, there we go. Because we're going to be stamping off a little bit, and I don't necessarily want that on my card here. So the first thing I want to do is stamp. So this is the card we're making. So I want to make sure that I stamp my tall flower stems first. So let's keep that here. And then we can just fill it around. Let's see. There. Okay, and then we're just bringing in our clover. So I'm going to do one clover down here. And each card is going to be a little bit different, I guess, depending on how you want to do it. Okay, and then you have two more images in the stamp set to stamp some extra greenery that you would find on a meadow, I guess. So we can stamp that here and down here. Just angle it a little bit. And then the smallest one. This almost looks like thistle to me. Oh, that's a hard one to pronounce. The TH. Okay, so like that. And I think I'm going to bring in that larger one over here. So really, you can play around however you want and make it look, whatever works for you. So that's all the peaceful pine. And then I'm bringing in berry burst to stamp my cute little clover tops. Okay, there we go. Could have done that a little bit closer, but it'll be fine. Okay, and then let's see. We have our flower done in my little cheat box here. So that's going to go on there. So what we're missing now for bits and pieces is stamping our sentiment. Okay. And I'm bringing in the secret C. So I'm pulling that darker color again. If you wanted to, you could stamp it in Peaceful Pine. You could stamp it in the Berry Burst. But I liked the idea of the secret C again. And it's almost like, in terms talking about size, it's almost as if this stamp was made for that bundle. And I haven't even checked, but Brenda, if you're still there, can you leave me a note in the chat if you can hear me actually this whole time? I hope you do. I hope you did. All right, inking that up in Secret C. Okay, there we go. So since I'm stamping on colored cardstock, Bubble Bath, I'm gonna give that a minute to dry because Secret C is a very rich color, and I don't want it to mess anything up. So I'm not gonna need those again, so I can kind of get that out of the way. Not gonna need those. Oops, sorry. I'm just trying to make sure because I'm gonna need some room here for the next card that I don't have a big mess here happening. So just all right. So yeah, when I'm nervous, I'm a mess. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's assemble our card. If you wanted to, you could stamp your inside layer, of course. So I will do that later. So I'm going to put this one layer on first. So I'm bringing in some Stampin' Seal, and I hope it's not gonna run out of me now during the video. Oops. Oh, no, not yet. So we're going to layer that there. So okay, I think you have sound. I just double checked on the laptop. Okay, and then I'm gluing this straight down, and to give me a little bit better wiggle room, I'm going to bring in some liquid glue. Where am my adhesive actually? Here. That's what we need. So always remember, a little liquid glue goes a long way. Not the wrong way. For some people, it goes the wrong way. Okay. And then we're just going to place that a little bit higher, but again, that's personal preference. But I just love how it almost looks like a window. You're looking out the window, a bubble bath framed window. Okay, check that out straight. Okay, and then because I wanted the flowers to mean the main pop on the card, I'm just going to glue down the sentiment directly on here, just with a little bit of an overhang, like so. How about I stay on camera? Okay. And then I'm going to pop these up with dimensionals if I can find some. Let's see here. I'm still rearranging um all of my stuff on my work desks here because it's a very different setup than what I had before I moved into my studio here. What I had at home. Oh, okay. Well, I guess we're gonna overlap there a little bit, but I think that's still cute. So tip next time, stamp this a little bit lower or stamp it a little bit more to the side. But I think it's cute no matter what. So, and then again, if you wanted to, you'll have some basic white on the inside that you can stamp and of course stamp your envelope. And that is card number 1. Oh no, wait, hold on. We have a little bow there. Silly me. Okay, so bringing in some bubble bath. I'm not even sure which suite this was from. Was that the Easter bunny one? No, that had a palmy blue checkered like gingham. Yeah, I don't know which suite this is coming from, but I think it's still available. So we're just gonna do a little itty bitty little bow because it looked a little bit naked there. So oop, don't want to cut off my finger. Okay, so of course that will be the ribbon will also be included in your kit. So let's see, do I still have some mini glue dots that I can use for that? And I like to, let's see here. Oh, there it is. Just an itty bitty tiny. So just gonna throw that on there. If you've been stamping and following me for a while, you know I've never been a big fan of mini glue dots, but they're growing on me. So they're growing on me. Okay. So, and there we go. Now that's card number 1 done. Without all my chitter chatter along the way, very quick and easy to make. All right, let's move on to our next card. Card number 2 is even simpler, but I think that's why I love it so much. So let me get that out of the. I just know I'm going to get some ink on it and mess it up. So let me double check here if my comments pop up. So um, I did a little bit of scoring here. So that is not an embossing folder to give it some texture and a little bit of like framing everything in, but at the same time, keep it very minimalistic and really have the flowers and the sentiment pop. So let me show you the supplies that we need, and I will put this back in. I just know I'm going to get some ink on it. So I'll leave it up here. So you have a basic white card base and an envelope, and then we have a piece of basic white. And here's my little cheat sheet. And I will have to move things around a little bit, but first I'm going to take a little sip of my chai. So I know I'm going to need some berry burst and my sentiment. So we can move the rest aside. And I'm bringing in my paper trimmer. You can also use, let's see, let's do that actually, because I feel like the result is much better. Let me grab my scoring tool, my big one. All right, so, and And let's see here. I should have my marker somewhere. So if you wanted to write down the measurements. For those of you who get the kit, the class kit, you will also get a PDF file with all the measurements and instruction. So 2 1/4. Oh, I don't even know if they're going to fit 2 and 3. No, they're not going to fit next to each other. Okay, so 2 1/4 is what I need to know. So we'll leave it at that. Anyways, I have a piece here that is 5 by 3 3/4, and I hope you can see. So what we're going to do first is we're going to score it at 1/4 inch from the edge. This is easier to score here than trying to do it here. Just make sure you have it all the way in there. And then we're just going to score it here at 1/4 inch off. So let's just do that on both sides to keep it easy. So 4 3/4. And then we're going to turn it sideways. And since it's 3 3/4, so 1/4 off would be 3 1/2. 3 1/2. And then I'm putting it, oops, sideways still. So short side lined up. And I'm going to score it at, what did my cheat sheet say? 2 1/4, 2 3/8, and then 2 1/2. So now I went in 1/8 of an inch increments. Okay. So, and that's all what we need to do for giving our card a little bit of texture. If you wanted to, you could flip it the other side. So it would be the raised, but I like this one better. So now let's hope I don't mess it up stamping. So I'm going to bring in my stamping mat and Berry Burst. And just because, and I want to see where I positioned it. So I'm pretty much just going to stamp it in the middle. Phew. Okay, let me pull it down so I can make sure that I have it straight on there and not making too much of a mess. So wish me luck. All right, that turned out pretty good. So right in the middle of it, above our 2 1/4 line there. And now all we need to do is glue that down to our card base. So, and what I did here was just, because usually I would go all the way to the edge, but with this card, I thought it would look nicer if I kept a little bit of um pop there. I'll explain it to you in a second what I'm trying to say. So we have our card base. So usually when I have a layer, I want to make sure that it's flush, like glued all the way down. It doesn't have any like edges come popping up. But with this one, I actually like it better. Make sure you have it the right way. So I didn't put any adhesive, just in these two sections. And if you wanted to, you could even pop it up with dimensionals. So maybe could have gone a little bit lower, but that's okay. So try not to smush over my sentiment there. Okay, so and now all we need to do is glue on our flowers. So again, we have this one stamped and die cut. Then we're going to need a stem from the clover, and I can't get them out of here. So take your pick tool, that's what it's there for. And this one here. So, okay, and I like to test it a little bit first to make sure I don't venture too far off on the sides and stuff. Gosh. I think I also need to just in general rehydrate when we're done. Okay, so putting that here. And then I'm going to put the clover. Oh, sorry. I was off camera, wasn't I? So just gonna layer that over there a little bit. And these are all gonna get popped up. So let's see here. We can use this little corner piece on our clover. Oops, come on. Right there. So cute, so cute. Don't judge me, but I think this clothes, and I know we've all been there. You see one single image on a stamp set, and that's the reason you're gonna get it. So, and that's how it was for me with this one. Okay, let's see if I can use up some bits and pieces here. Oh, um, what I'm gonna do is, I know one of the flowers is gonna be there. Oops, one is gonna be there. So one is gonna be there. And a fourth one, maybe in this corner here. I hope they're not going to overlap. So I'm just pushing that down. Just a backing. Not the whole dimensional. Okay, sticky, sticky. And now lining this up. I know it looks kind of weird, like this edge here, this kind of gap, but it's really because that flower is hanging over there. That just goes to show how much goes into figuring out, when a artist is actually sketching out stamp sets and then how they need to make it work with dies and everything. There goes so much work into that. And there we go. Just a beautiful, simple card. This might almost be my favorite. I don't know. It's hard for me to choose, but I love this one so much. So, but um, yeah, I'm a white card face, white on white kind of gal. So yeah, I just love how simple it is, just because. All right, that was card number 2. And now to our final card. And I was inspired by, I was planning on actually pulling that up. But this is actually inspired by a card sample on the Stampin' Up store, but I can't remember which stamp set it was. If I can find it, I'll put it in the comments or in the description so you can check it out. But this was inspired by a card sketch, or inspired by just the layout of the card, how simple it is. So, and now we definitely have lots of bits and pieces. And again, you have a piece of basic white that you can glue down on the inside. And then we have a piece of Peaceful Pine on Peaceful Pine. That was the main sketch. Oh, I want to say it's the Promises and Prayers. There's a card. So, and it's using actually one of the stamp sets that's retiring. So it kind of has like another floral image. So, anyways, not important. I'll link it for you later. Okay, so we're just gonna put some glue here on the Peaceful Pine. I love that sound, running my glue on embossed pages. And I embossed this with our new fern folder. Okay, there we go. So it's very similar to our first card. Same idea. To not have a full panel, but just a section of it. Okay, so now here's where we have to do some more stamping. I'm going to bring in my berry burst again if I can find it. And these are actually 2 separate stamps. I don't know if you can tell. So in the stamp set, you have the things and then for showing you care. And to make it easier and quicker for myself, I mounted them together. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't because maybe um the edge of the actual stamp is in the way. So we'll see. We'll see how it works out. I just feel like here on my stamp, on my sample, I could have stamped it a little bit higher and a little bit to the left. So, but I stamped them separately. So let's see how it works out. And again, this new label is from the Stitch Stockings bundle coming out July 1st. And like I said, I'll be using that for a Christmas in July class. And let's see here, making sure. Okay, looks pretty good. It's further apart. So, but for the sake of stamping just one, I think that turned out pretty good. Okay. Ooh, you see that? I was lucky not getting that on my card. Okay, so we can go ahead and we're gonna let that dry for a second because we got to do some gluing fun here. Because aside from die cutting all the images that are in the stamp set, you also have some standalone die, so there's no matching image to it. So if you get the class kit, you'll have some Peaceful Pine, you'll have some Bubble Bath, and some Berry Burst to die cut these pieces. And voila, I've already done that. So here is that. And we're going to glue a few things here on our stem. And let me tell you something really funny. So before I looked at all the beautiful ideas that fellow demonstrators had for this bundle, in particular, this flower here, I assume if you look at I don't know if there's actually catalog samples, but so everybody glued it down like this. So like I have it on my card, right? So it looks more like a cone flower. But I actually did it this way. The very first flower I glued together, I did it that way. And I think that looks cool too. So it's just kind of like a very organic looking flower that grows upwards. So either way would be fine. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to bring in my so this is just multi-purpose liquid glue in a quilling glue bottle. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue there. And let's go ahead and put some here. So that can kind of start settling in. And now I always forget how this thing goes on here. Well, oh no, alert, alert, finger on the glue. Okay, so let's put it this way. And then I think it goes on this way. So these layer up. I don't know if you can see with my fingers in the way. Okay. And then we can go ahead and we can glue this down here. So you can make lots of different color combinations. For this one, I just went with the Bubble Bath Berry Burst because I think it's such a cute color combination for this. It's in the paper as well. So, and then I glued some bits and pieces down here. So, and then, can you see? I'm going to go down a little bit here. So yeah, the colors in that designer series paper with that velvet flocking are Peaceful Pine, Berry Burst, Bubble Bath, Daffodil Delight, Cloud Cover. So a really fun, fresh summer color combo. And so what I'm trying to do here is I actually want that peaceful, I don't know if you can tell, but I want this to peek through that little hole in the middle of the flowers so they don't just like look naked. So, okay, anyways, now let's assemble our final piece here. I should close this. I know I'm going to need it again, but that's okay. Okay, so some big chunks of dimensionals we can use up here now. So why don't we just go ahead and trim this up. So there and there. So that way we can be sure that it's not getting smushed. Oops, well, look at that. Pull that backing off. So that's how I like to use the edges on our mini dimensionals. Okay. Placing that here. Let's see, is that straight? And if not, it's a handmade card, right? Okay, so, and then we can go ahead and glue down our pieces here. And I'm just amazed how we're close to, like, now it's 41 minutes, despite all my nervous chatter along the way. Thank you for being patient with me. So I'm going this over here. I'm not going to put any. Oh, did I put glue down there? Maybe. Ah, that's okay. And now I'm going to sneak in a dimensional here in the back. Let's see, I might need an actual, so it's not peeking through. And if Anna goes quiet, she's focusing. Let me see here. Okay, on the lower one. Can you see that? Oh gosh, I hope everything wasn't focused this whole time. If not, I apologize. Then we'll have to do it again. Okay, just a little bit. As I like to say, we're going paper to paper, so no reason to go crazy. Okay, and then we'll just, okay, be brave, gluing it down. Wonderful. And there we go. That is card number 3. And like I said, if you wanted to, you could stamp something on the inside to write your message or stamp another message. And just give me 1 second. All right, just had to take another sip. And there we go. Whoops. That is card number 3. So let me bring them all back in. I hope you enjoyed these card ideas. Sweet and simple. So let's switch that so you don't have that glare. There we go. So card number 1, card number 2, and card number 3. I would love to hear which one is your favorite. And if you can't decide, let me know if you've done any scoring like that on any of your card layers before, if that is something fun and new that you want to try. So, uh, if you're motion sickness prone like me, close your eyes for a second because I'm going to switch you back around. Okay. So I can have you up here one more time. So again, our cards for today, card number 1. I know it's probably backwards for you. Yeah. And card number 2. I think this is my favorite because it's so simple. It's such an Anna card. And card number 3. I just love this. I want to say, I think it's called Fern Floor. It's from another suite though, from the Moonlit Fern suite, that embossing folder, but I just thought it would go so beautifully with that card. So, yeah, thank you for tuning in. I will post the link on all the details how you can get the supplies for making this card. All you would need is the bundle, the Flowering Meadow bundle, and it's in stock right now. So, whoops, let me switch. So this is what you would need to make the cards exactly as I've shown them. at home is this bundle or something similar. You get all the cardstock pieces that you need. So if you have a different bundle that you want to use for that, that's totally fine. You will need ink pads and berry burst. We used bubble bath, secret sea, and the new and very popular, it's been out of stock a few times since the catalog launched in early May, peaceful pine ink pad, because that's the color combination we used on these cards. And all the layers are pre-cut and pre-scored for you. Even this one, I'll take care of that for you. Um, but everything else, like the stamping and die cutting, well, I showed you the stamping. Um, where did I put it now? I don't know where I put it. Somewhere. It's somewhere. Oh, so this is the stamping you would need to do. So you'll have that piece of basic white, so you can die cut that. And then also, since it's part of the bundle, you would need to die cut these pieces. So those will also be included. The cardstock pieces will be included in the class kit, as well as a PDF tutorial with all the measurements, supplies, step-by-step instructions to make these cards. You have, today is Wednesday, June 3rd, so you have until Monday, June 8th, 11:59 p.m. Central Time to place an order in my Stampin' Up! Store. And again, I will have the link for you with all the details and everything. And then the kits will ship the week after. All right, let's see if there were any questions. I don't see any right now, and we're close a little bit over 45 minutes, but again, with all the talking. So these are, I think, beautiful, sweet and simple cards that you can make like so quickly, or even make like a stack of them if you wanted to. And I will also have, if you like it a little bit more stepped up, I will also open registration for my Flowering Meadow Fun and Fancy class tomorrow. So make sure you're on my email list. I will also put that link in the description after this live stream is over. So if you're catching the replay, say hi. And yeah, you'll find the links in the video description. And that one will include the full pack of paper. I think I placed it probably somewhere where I can grab it right now. So, but it's a beautiful pack of paper. And you also get a full bolt of ribbon, and you get to make 6 projects. Mostly cards, but I also have like 1 or 2 3D projects in there. So if you don't want to miss out on that, make sure you are on my email list. Like I said, I will send out registration will open tomorrow, June 4th. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the cards, and I'll see you later. Bye.